Good Wednesday afternoon.
Hump day.
It's Hump Day here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao, and I am joined, as always, by Maurice Patton. We are coming to you live from the Lee Company studio back. It's been folks here in the office building have been asking me, where y'all been? Everywhere, man.
We were only gone yesterday.
Yeah, well, and then Thursday and Friday of last week.
But we were here Monday.
So
where were they Monday?
They weren't here Monday.
Well, that's
so it was like
it's like when I walked in, somebody said, "Welcome back." I'm like, "Well, we were here 2 days ago, but thank you."
Yeah. It's like, I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota.
I've been everywhere. I do feel like I've been everywhere.
So. I told Sarah last night, I said, I would like to formally request to never have to drive again. Because last night was awful.
It's bad timing.
Well, I mean, it just, for
being in Nashville and doing our show in Nashville and trying to get out of Nashville
at 5
south.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, that one yesterday felt worse than any other day.
Well, at least you were just going home. I was trying to get to a ball game.
And you didn't make it about the hit, but that's okay.
You
were close.
I only missed the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
And that's pretty impressive considering. So I'll be honest with you.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't any further south than Spring Hill.
Yeah, because goodness gracious, man, it was. Which I had to go grocery shopping. Yeah, that on top of everything else, when I got to Columbia, I had to go to the grocery store. Did that, then went home. It was a crazy day. Not as crazy as Wild and Wacky Wednesday though. Yeah, we got plenty.
This one's on you today.
Yeah, we got plenty of wild and wacky stories to get to. I'm super pumped about it.
Is there a Florida man or a Florida woman?
You know, I think the first one is Florida man.
Is anybody getting stabbed in the eye with a rabies
needle? No rabies needles this week. Thank goodness. That was scary. But, yeah, there's plenty of exciting stuff to get to. We're going to have a great show. We've got Steve LAYMAN of News Channel 5. He's going to join us, and we'll have less of an interview, more of a discussion, a conversation about the big news of the day, which is Middle Tennessee State hiring a new football coach in Derek Mason. We'll also talk with Terry McCormick on the Titans. We'll have his thoughts on what he's seen this week to this point. And our new regular special guest on Wednesdays, Joe Sullivan, will join us in Battle of the Boulevard Part 150. And I don't know how to say that in French. So I'm just going to leave that one be. But yeah, the 150th Battle of the Boulevard tonight, both men and women. Lipscomb and Belmont. So should be fun. We've got a great show, and we'll get to it in just a moment. But before we do anything else, we need to get you yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Girls high school basketball from Tuesday night. Let's see. Rockville defeated Beach 56-43. Providence Christian defeated Battleground Academy 53-27. Brentwood had a 43-35 win over Baylor. It was Brentwood High School 78, Cascade 58. Cheatham County with a 70-45 win over White House Heritage. Clarksville Northwest defeated Kirkwood 48-22. Columbia Academy 60, University School of Nashville 31. Donaldson Christian 48, Clarksville Academy 46. Rossview defeated Dixon County 54-38. It was McGavock 71, Glencliff 4. Goodpasture with a 63-26 win over Friendship Christian. Liberty Creek 39, Harpeth 35. Lincoln County 63, Giles County 6. Hendersonville 35, Page 33. Henry County with a 57-26 win over Springfield. Columbia Central's girls defeated Hickman County 65-26. It was Station Camp 62, Hume Fogg 25. Gallatin with a 54-7 win over Hunters Lane. Clarksville 67, Kenwood 31, Lebanon 55, Blackman 43, Lipscomb Academy 65, Ravenwood 51, Loretto with a 66-43 win over Richland. Macon County defeated Westmoreland 31-27, and Marshall County 35, Franklin 32. Hillsborough with a 59-29 win over Martin Luther King, and Moore County defeated Culleoka 52-20.
Mount Juliet falling to Siegel 58-30, and Ezo Harding with 64-45 win over Nashville Christian. Nolensville 46-30-45. Santa Fe falls to McEwen 58-41. Riverdale 32-28 winners over Smyrna. Spring Hill falls to Summertown 68-46. There's coverage on MainStreetMurray.com. Stewart's Creek 57, Murfreesboro Central 27, Maplewood 73, Stratford 62, Sycamore 48-24 winners doubling up Stewart County. Creekwood 54, Todd County Central 42, Upperman 55-30 winners over Oakland, and Mount Pleasant Downs Zion Christian 55-33. On the boys' side, it was Beach 63, Rockville 47. Providence Christian 57-54 over Battleground Academy. Baylor downs Brentwood Academy 57-51, and White House Heritage downs Cheatham County 45-43. Clarksville Northwest edges Kirkwood 57-55. Same for Columbia Academy over University School of Nashville. What a game this one was. Apparently 58-57 in favor of the Bulldogs. Clarksville Academy down Donaldson Christian 65-49. Rossview a 91-80 winner over Dixon County. Laverne 75, East Nashville 60. And East Robertson with a 74-61 win over Greenbrier. You wonder if they were at full strength last night. 69. They were. 69-54, the final score for Glencliff over McGavick. Good Pasture 66-50 winners over Friendship Christian. Franklin Road Academy 61, Grace Franklin 37. Liberty Creek downs Harpeth 44-39. Page a 67-42 winner over Hendersonville. Henry County 68, Springfield 45. Hickman County's boys, did you say in overtime?
Overtime.
65-62 winners over Columbia Central. Gallatin downs at Hunters Lane 50-31. Blackman 56, Lebanon 37. Hitting Lincoln County falls to Giles County 55-41. Ravenwood downs Lipscomb Academy 59-44, and Loretto a 54-45 winner over Richland.
Also, Westmoreland 39, Macon County 29, Franklin with a 76-72 win over Marshall County. Webb School 85, Middle Tennessee Christian 50. Joe Burns defeated Montgomery Central 50-41. Is Moore County with a 68-63 win over Culleoka. Siegel defeated Mount Juliet 58-34. Davidson Academy 51, Mount Juliet Christian 47. Nolensville with a 66-53 victory over Fairview. Santa Fe behind 38 points from Alden Slaughter. Remember the name, get used to the name because we're going to be calling it a lot. 66-47 over McEwen. Smyrna 56, Riverdale 32. Summertown with an 81-46 victory at Spring Hill. Murfreesboro Central 64, Stewart's Creek 61. Sycamore 69, Stewart County 34. It was Upperman defeating Oakland 72-48. Lead Academy with a 64-59 win over Watertown. Pearl Cone defeated White House 65-60. Mount Pleasant behind 27 points from Ryan Benderman defeated Zion Christian 84-44. In men's basketball action at the collegiate level, Tennessee with an 87-66 win over George Mason. Middle Tennessee State down. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and get the final score. I just have a thought on this one.
Okay. Middle Tennessee State with a 77-73 victory over Missouri State at the Glass House.
Did you see Sam Doughton's tweets about Missouri State not having a foul called until they intentionally fouled with 20 seconds to play in the second half?
No, I did not.
That's insane. Anyway, continue.
Austin P 98, Midway 44, Cumberland 80, Indiana Tech 76. Freed Hardeman with a 93-54 win over Fisk. Christian Brothers defeated Tribeca 93-76 on the ice. It was the Predators going into the United Center, coming out with a 4-3 shootout victory over the Blackhawks of Chicago. And anytime you beat the Blackhawks, it's a good day.
Well, they've beaten them 14 times out of the last 17, lost once and tied twice.
You'll take that.
You'll take 14, 1, and 2, and 17 over the Blackhawks.
You absolutely will.
Men's basketball tonight at Memorial Gymnasium, San Francisco.
The Dons.
The Dons come into town. And
Fortunately for Vanderbilt, Bill Russell ain't walking through that door.
yeah, I think right now he could probably help him out. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Also, again, Lipscomb and Belmont on ESPN Plus tonight at 7. Women before that at 5. And at Probst Arena in women's basketball tonight, down in Huntsville, Alabama, it's Middle Tennessee State and the Lady Vols at 6:30. That one's also on ESPN Plus. And
Clear the interstate. I'm coming through.
She's driving fast. And in the association, Memphis is at the Pistons, 6:30 on Valley Sports Southeast, and that is your rundown. Top stories brought to you today by Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill Shopping Center in Columbia. Make sure to go by and see our friends at Piggly Wiggly if you are looking for lunch. They've got great meats, vegetables, cobblers, and you can just put it together, and they will make it work for you. And it's really, really affordable. You don't think you can afford to eat out for lunch, but you can afford to eat at Piggly Wiggly, I promise.
You really can.
They've also got fresh hand-cut meats, great produce, and all its cost plus 10 at the register. Make sure to go see them today. Our top story is, of course, Derek Mason being announced this morning at a press conference in Murfreesboro by – go ahead.
Were you going to do something before that?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot about the
That's okay.
Tennessee Sports Writers Association's men's and women's basketball players of the week. I apologize
That's
to
okay.
those folks. Let's do that first.
Let's do that first because it's not going to take nearly as long.
No, it won't.
Couple of players with local ties, as former Franklin High School guard Reed Kemp, now a junior at Maryville, averaged 27 points in
Junior? God.
Averaged 27 points and 3 wins last week, including 39 in an 83-85 victory at Berry. He also scored 26 in an 87-84 overtime win against Washington and Lee, and 16 in a 112-61 win at Warren Wilson. The 39 points for Kemp is believed to be the most by a Maryville player since the 10-11 season.
That's our favorite. Our
Believed
favorite
to be,
line
yes.
in any
yes. Plausible
record.
deniability, baby. 16 of 24 from the floor, 6 of 8 from 3, and scored the game winner with 4.1 seconds remaining. Kemp is Maryville's leading scorer and is second in the Collegiate Conference of the South with an 18.6 average. For the women, Vanderbilt junior Sasha Washington averaged 23.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4.5 steals. Scored a career-high 33 points in the Commodore women's 71-63 win over Louisiana Tech. 15 of 20 from the floor, along with a career-high 8 steals, 6 most in a single game in Vanderbilt history. She also had 14 points with 7 rebounds and 5 blocks in a 70-62 loss to North Carolina State. So congratulations to Sasha Washington of Vanderbilt and Reed Kemp of Maryville, the Tennessee Sports Writers Association's women's and men's basketball players of the week. Second week in a row, a Vanderbilt women's player has been honored by the TSWA for following Jordan Cambridge last week. So,
well, they've been playing really well, so well deserved.
Absolutely.
Now,
our
other top story,
as you were saying before, you were so rudely
maybe a slightly bigger top story, just a little bit, is that Middle Tennessee State did name a football coach. Derek Mason was announced this morning at a press conference by MTSU leadership. So we have highlights from that press conference coming up. So let's take a look.
Thank you. There is an old saying that a 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step. And today we're taking that step, and it's a very significant step. We all must keep in mind this only represents, though, one step in this 1,000-mile journey. For us to complete this journey, we all must work together. And I ask our fans, our alumni, and all who love MTSU to rally behind the program so that we can be the conference champions who makes the CFP playoffs. Today offers a new beginning as we close the books on an 8-day process that was fluid and dynamic. After numerous Zooms, countless phone calls, and several face-to-face interviews, we landed in a great spot. We had an outstanding group of finalists, outstanding group, who I have no doubt would have excelled here at MTSU. I thank them for all their interest in MTSU.
Now, during his press conference last week, our athletic director, Chris Massaro, emphasized that from the moment we made the decision to take our football program in a new direction, there was universal agreement on the characteristics that we wanted in our next coach. And you no doubt have heard about our desire to select an individual who will engage our supporters and build a rapport with not only our supporters, but also our fans. But also a coach who will effectively engage those outside of the Blue Raider family. A coach who will bring new interests to our program and create excitement among state and national media. Our new head football coach, ladies and gentlemen, whom I will introduce in just a few moments, I believe with all my heart and soul has that ability. He clearly wants to be our next leader of our football program. I looked him in the eyes. He clearly wants to be here at MTSU. And I know that his family wants to be in Murfreesboro. His wife, Leanne, is here. Would you stand, Leanne? And I just thank you for your support. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and my privilege to introduce to you and bring to the stage our dynamic, new, exciting, incredible new MTSU Blue Raider head football coach, Coach Derek Mason.
Wow. I didn't know if we were at a pep rally or a Beyonce concert. My thank yous would like to start with the Board of Trustees. I want to thank them. I've had a chance to talk to a couple of our board members, and this is a special place. And they've been able to tell me how special, and for me, it's resonated. I'd like to start with talking about our players, okay? And I had a meeting with our players last night. Dr. McPhee and Chris and I sat down and talked about the idea of wanting them to be the first recipients of our relationship and what this thing was going to look like. So instead of meeting this morning, we met last night, impromptu meeting. And what I can tell you, much like many 18 to 22-year-olds who are in the dark and don't quite understand what just happened to them, a lot of hurt in the building, just wanting to know and understand what's next. So we started with what's next. We started with the idea of me talking to them about just love, loving them, meeting them where they are, and understanding that every one of those players is valued and valuable within our program. Stay here, be a Blue Raider. And I think having an opportunity to shake every one of those players' hands. Okay, I shook every player's hand. I had a chance to talk to our coaches. I wanted to know names. What started is maybe something that may go 20 minutes. We were in there at least for an hour and 45 minutes. Why? Because mending relationships and love takes a little bit of time. So let's get that right. I love Tennessee. I feel like Nashville has become the entertainment capital and hub of the South. And when you look at what we have here in the borough, from the Ville to the borough, it's exciting. We are connected, but very much our own community. We are blue collar, just like the blue we wear. Hard-working folks wanting the opportunity to be great. So let's be great. Murfreesboro, in my opinion, when you talk about Rutherford County, and really the Middle Tennessee area, is probably some of the most fertile recruiting area in this state. Talent on talent on talent. And it's our job to keep it here. So this staff will be committed to the idea of watching our community players, the best of the best, come here, play here, graduate here, and live here. Let's do that. MTSU graduates 5,000 students per year. 5,000. That's exceptional. 1 in 6, they reside in Nashville, a graduate. 1 in 6 graduates resides in Nashville. So when I talk about the Ville to the borough, you don't think we're well represented? We are. We got to wake it all up. It's time to shake it up. Time to let everybody know who we are, where we sit, where we stand, and what the mission is. We want to win championships here. Make no bones about it. We want to rock this new updated stadium that's coming here in 2025, but we got work to do between now and then. The commitment is there. The work's got to be done. So we'll get to work. It's our time. We're going to be dedicated to making sure, okay, from the class to the grass, okay, man, from the educational opportunities as well as the growth opportunities for our student athletes on and off the field, that they get it done. The cost of getting it wrong is way too expensive, so we're going to get it right. We are ready to hit the ground running, and I do understand that recruiting is going on right now. So as I land this plane, and as we all get together, okay, in understanding that Derek Mason, myself, standing here before you, is about serving you. So whatever I can do, I will do in service of the Blue Raider community. So let's make sure we get that done. I'm ready to roll, so let's go Blue.
Man, I was there when all of that was being said this morning, but hearing it again just kind of sends chills as an MTSU graduate. So.
It hits a little different when you can hear that second time and you get a chance to really, because you're in the middle of a bunch of people and you're trying to listen. But
you're listening for different reasons
right.
At that point. You're listening for sound bites and to take notes and that kind of thing. But again, as a graduate, as somebody who was there when MTSU was going to Division I AA playoffs and that kind of thing. And as someone who covered the program when it was making the transition from 1AA to D1, and with a Hall of Fame coach in Boots Donley, to just see that excitement and hear that excitement in that room this morning was really exciting. And like I said, I was there, so had the opportunity to get some additional individual interviews with Derek, with President McPhee, and with Chris Massaro. So we've got those for you as well. Derek come on to y'all's radar. Did he call y'all? Did y'all call him? How did that go?
It was a two-way street.
I'm sorry,
Two ways. He was interested, we were interested.
but who made the initial contact?
I can't remember exactly, but I think the AD, I think it was Chris made that initial contact. But he really fit all the characteristics that Chris and I talked about before we even start the formal search. And then we had a lot of folks who called us, but in the end, we got who we wanted.
Anything else?
Both. He's no stranger to Rutherford County and the football here, and Williamson County football and Davidson County football. And that was one of the things that was attractive to me and to Dr. McPhee is he kind of had a home court advantage, and he knew the area. So we don't have to draw maps for him on how to get to Brentwood High School, and how to navigate our state. And let's not forget about Memphis, and how we navigate that. And so he has those inroads. So we don't have to GPS him to the local high schools. So to me, that was really important as well, Darren.
Well, you got to go meet players where they are. So, I mean, it's about getting in living rooms. It's about getting in front of these high school coaches. When I was able to recruit at Vanderbilt looked different. Okay, all the way around. Still wanted the academic rigors. Here, we still want the academic, prowess. We want student athletes, man, who want to achieve. And let me say this, and I want this to go out to our student athletes, the guys that we're looking at recruiting. You want to play football, develop, okay, man, and be a really good player? Come here to MTSU. Okay, we're gonna get that done. The whole NIL deal, hey, I get it. I get where it's at. I get where we're going. Okay, man, I want to be a part of it. But let me tell you something. It's about retention. It's about making sure, okay, that we develop the guys in this area so that our fan base can come watch our own, okay, man, play at a high level.
Yeah.
Really, it was going to take a lot because me and my wife talked, coordinator jobs, NFL opportunities. I mean, I spent a lot of time during the off season. Myself, Leslie Frazier, and some other coaches were on Zoom calls on Thursdays, man, just talking about NFL ball. I probably really saw myself going right back to the NFL, to be honest. And that was where my focus was. I mean, it was coordinating in the NFL, and getting back to that. But there was just something about this job, home. I've been here in Tennessee now 10 years, and I may seem new to some people, but 10 years in Tennessee, man, that's like 25 dog years, for other people in other places. Tennessee is a place that's grown, right? Especially the Middle Tennessee area. From the Ville to the borough, it's all grown. So it felt right to me. Okay, I'm a blue collar guy. I know I've coached at some upper echelon schools in terms of the academic deal, but this is an upper academic situation. So for me, I just feel like between the ball, between the opportunity, to be great, the community. I mean, I'm a community guy, so you're gonna see me in the community. That's really what I do. I mean, I'm gonna spend time, get our guys in the community. Why? Because it's a limited college experience. Man, when all you do is play football and you don't get a chance to experience what the community has in store for you.
There you have it. A lot going on in Murfreesboro. We've got more on the other side of a break. We'll be joined by News Channel 5's Steve LAYMAN and talk more about Derek Mason to the borough. Right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are live from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, glad to have you guys along with us as we continue talking about Middle Tennessee State's brand new football coach, Derek Mason. We are joined by News Channel 5's Steve LAYMAN to continue the conversation. Steve, thanks for joining us, man.
You bet, Chris. Mo, how are you guys doing?
Well, we're doing well. Just been running, obviously, as are you apparently, but appreciate you taking some time with us. But you know, you dealt with Derek quite often during his Vanderbilt tenure, and it felt like there was some excitement just among folks who had dealt with Derek when he was at Vanderbilt to see him back in the saddle today.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, number one, everybody who's dealt with Derek Mason knows the type of man he is. And he's a really upstanding, good, solid man. And I think a really good football coach, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think anybody who knows him is excited for him to have an opportunity just personally. But the other side of this to me is Chris Massaro coming through on what he said he was setting out to do last week. And that's to try to reinvigorate this Middle Tennessee football program that, let's face it, the crowds have dwindled in the last few years. And it seemed like it had just gotten a bit stagnant for whatever reason, and that they needed to inject some life into the program. And he said last week, we need to find a guy who's got some personality to him and that brings a little bit of that pizzazz to the table for this football program. And you kind of wondered who that guy might be. And what better guy than a guy who has a great personality, that's known in the area, that's known by high school football coaches around, to come in and excite your fan base. And the other thing about it is it's not just the fan base, but I think you have a lot of people around the country who wouldn't normally pay attention to the Middle Tennessee coaching hire that perked up yesterday when the report started to come out that it was Derek Mason, a former SEC coach, a guy who had a lot of success in the Pac-12 as a defensive coordinator at Stanford, and a guy with NFL ties. For Middle Tennessee to attract that coach, I think you had a lot of football people take notice.
And you know, Steve, for all of the naysayers with regard to his record at Vanderbilt, Derek Mason is one of two coaches that have taken Vanderbilt to multiple bowl game appearances.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That was one of the things that I had tweeted at me, or X'd at me, whatever it's called now, by multiple people today about, 25-57 record, or 10-46 in the SEC. Well, first off, Middle Tennessee isn't competing in the SEC. And I think we all know Vanderbilt has some challenges. Clark Lee's learning that right now. And every coach other than James Franklin has learned the hard way about the Vanderbilt job dating back to World War II. That's how far you have to go back to find the coach before Franklin to have a winning record in his time at Vanderbilt. That is not an easy job. And Derek Mason got them to 2 bowl games in that time. It didn't end well, but he made them competitive while he was there. They were more competitive early on in the Mason era than they have been during Clark Lee's first 3 years. And you can say that about many other coaches there. So I think there's a good track record of Derek Mason, the football coach. And now he has an opportunity to school that he's not going to have to deal with quite the same academic standards. No knock on Middle Tennessee, but it's not trying to get SEC caliber football players into Vanderbilt and deal with that. You're not dealing with the resource game of Vanderbilt versus Georgia or Alabama or Tennessee. And he just gets to go coach ball with a fertile recruiting ground right there in Rutherford County and the surrounding area here in Middle Tennessee, where I think he can put some pretty competitive football teams on the field almost immediately.
And I think a lot of people in this area are going to be excited to see that. And go back and look at the rosters that he put together at Vanderbilt. He recruited this area. And so, as Chris Massaro was saying, he doesn't need a GPS to get to Brentwood or to Ravenwood or to Riverdale or to those places. He knows, he's been on those campuses. He's recruited at those schools successfully. And his team showed that when he was at Vanderbilt. And I think that's going to be something that's going to drive some excitement in this fan base as well. Seeing local
I think
kids.
so. I think so, because when you have people who grew up watching guys play at Ravenwood or Oakland or Blackman or up at one of the Nashville schools or a Brentwood or something like that, when you see those kids then play for the local university, it's something to get behind. And I'm with you, Mo. I was sitting there today when Derek was talking about going around to Rutherford County and going to some of the high schools, and I was sitting there thinking, I bet it's like 85% of the time an FBS football coach is hired, and he couldn't tell you the county he was in at the introductory press conference because he's moving from across the country or across state lines or whatever, and he's been there for 12 hours. And now they just gave him a new tie reflecting the school color, and he goes out there and tries to act like he's one of them. Derek Mason has lived in Middle Tennessee for 10 years. He knows Rutherford County. He's recruited Rutherford County. He knows the coaches down there. And I think that is a really unique advantage that he has as he tries to hit the ground running. First of all, to try to convince the guys he has in the program right now that he wants them and that they need to stick around. But also, he's got, 20 days before National Signing Day? So he's got to get out there and beat the recruiting path, whether that's at home or out across the country. And to have that advantage of already knowing the local high school coaches, knowing the Kevin Creasy's, knowing those guys down there in that area that spoke very highly of him, that's a huge advantage out of the gate.
Absolutely. And Chris Massaro even pointed that out, that he kind of had a home field advantage, so to speak, from that standpoint. So Steve Layman with News Channel 5 joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It just feels like a good hire, a great hire. I mean, I'm a little biased, I guess, but just from an objective standpoint, Steve, I mean, Tim, what's his last name? The DC.
Tim Banks.
Yeah, Tim Banks. I'm sorry. Was the other guy whose name was closely associated with this vacancy. And I don't know how far they got or what happened that he wasn't the guy, but Derek feels like to me a better fit for everything that we've already talked about.
Yeah, I think basically everything we lined up is the advantage that he has over Tim Banks. He already was a head coach. He already lives in the Middle Tennessee area. He knows the recruiting ground in Rutherford County extremely well and around the Middle Tennessee area. All those things, to me, make a lot of sense and make Derek Mason a really good hire for this. Now, will that translate to wins? And most importantly for Middle Tennessee fans, will it translate to championships? Because Rick Stockstill won a lot of games as the head coach in Middle Tennessee. And Derek was quick to point out today that he really laid the foundation for what Middle Tennessee football can be in the FBS and in Conference USA. And now it's his job to build on that legacy. That's all well and good. But what Middle Tennessee fans really want to know, I hear all the time when they talk to me, is are we going to win Conference USA? Are we going to win championships? Because that is the thing that has been missing. And there's really no reason why they can't do it. And I think there's a lot of fans out there who have been frustrated as the conference itself has basically been completely overhauled in recent years. Just about the only teams that are still in it that were there just a handful of years ago are Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky. I think a lot of the fans believed, if that's the case, shouldn't we be competing for a championship every single year, if not winning it? And the fact that it hasn't happened, I think, has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So they've got to ultimately get to that point. And I don't know if Derek Mason will be able to do that. I don't know who would be able to do that. But I think at least on day one, he wins you the press conference. He gets the buzz going for the program once again. There is excitement about Middle Tennessee football and a curiosity about what they're doing. And then you couple that with the renovation you're doing to Floyd Stadium, and I think you at least feel like you're putting the things in place to give you the opportunity to be a championship football program year in and year out. And that has always been the goal of the fan base. And now to me, it feels like the administration and the school starting to reflect that priority with this hire and the resources that they're putting into place.
You know, as you mentioned early in this conversation, Steve, how it piqued the interest and perked the ears of football people from around the country, this hire. As I have been perusing the replies of different media members from here, from there, from everywhere, it's so funny that the only negative comments I'm seeing are from Middle Tennessee State fans. Everybody else from outside is saying what a fantastic hire for Middle Tennessee State. Now, obviously, that's not ideal because you want your fans to be excited and all of your fans to be excited. I'm sure there is because Twitter is not a reflection of reality, and we all know that. But, you know, that's got to be, you know, maybe not day one, but in year 2, year 3, when he's already made leaps and bounds strides with this program, and you've got a brand new facility that's nearing completion or perhaps completed in that time frame, it's really going to pay off in the end after this, you know, when this 5-year deal is done.
I think that's true. And for the people who aren't excited about the hire, I guess my question to them is, who would excite you? And that's not to say, right. I mean, look, like, I'm not trying to tell you that Derek Mason is Nick Saban, but you're not hiring Nick Saban at Middle Tennessee. And so would you be that much more excited if you're a Middle fan and the announcement today was that Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks is coming, or if they would have beaten UTEP to the punch and gotten Scotty Walden from Austin Peay? Are you more excited about that? I mean, if you are, I'm interested in the argument of why. But to me, you got a Power 5 level head coach, a guy who has been there and has taken teams to bowl games at that level at one of the toughest, if not the toughest, Power 5 job there is. He's a guy that is widely considered to be one of the best defensive minds in the entire sport, not just at the college level, but including the NFL level. So to me, if you're not excited about that, okay, but give me the guy who would excite you if that's the case. And so part of me wonders if that's just a little bit of the apathy that we've been talking about, that you haven't won as much as you expect, you're frustrated by it all, and you want immediate results. And I feel like today was a home run hire from the press conference perspective for most people who are looking at it reasonably. And if you don't like Derek Mason for whatever reason, then I want to know who you'd prefer to have in that slot that would make you more excited.
Who would you want, and how would Middle get them?
That's the question.
Sure.
And look, a lot of people did want Scotty Walden. And including, we talked about it would be a great hire if Scotty Walden had been hired at Middle Tennessee State. But I don't know that it's a better hire than this one.
Mhm.
I think Chris Massaro, and again, we talked about it. Chris Massaro he's in a situation where this hire is incredibly important to his legacy, but particularly his
Yes.
job. And so it's important for him to get this one right. And if this doesn't work, it will not be from a lack of effort.
Yeah, no question about it. And like I said earlier, they're committed to putting in the resources to making sure that Derek Mason has what he needs to build the program that he wants to do there. And that's incredibly important too. It's not just about having the coaching staff in place. It's about having the resources in place as well for that staff and for your team to do everything they need to do. And it feels like that commitment for the first time is fully on board with Middle Tennessee, which is vitally important as well. I just think the other thing is when you look at hires, I think too often people get caught up in, we want a really exciting offensive-minded coach. We want to play wide open. We want to score a ton of points because that would be really exciting. Or, sometimes in the reverse, it's you've been maybe too offensive and had a terrible defense for a while. So then you think, oh, we need a defensive-minded coach that makes us a little tougher and more physical as a football team. I think too often decisions are made by administrators that are trying to be football people in a lot of senses, about trying to find the sexy thing or the thing they weren't previously, as opposed to trying to find the right fit. And you can make an argument that Scotty Walden's really sexy hire right now. And I love the job he did at Austin Peay. His teams were really fun. I think he could be a good hire for a lot of programs. But I also think when you're looking at Middle Tennessee, it's hard to make the argument that Scotty Walden's a better fit to walk into a job than Derek Mason is right now. And again, that doesn't mean Scotty Walden may not do great things at UTEP or that Derek Mason is automatically going to succeed at Middle Tennessee. But I think the things that Dr. McPhee and Chris Massaro found in this hire were the things that you should be looking for. You should be looking for a guy who reflects the values of what you want, reflects your culture as a campus and as a football program, and understands the area. And he even talked about it. He said, I'm a blue-collar guy. This is a blue-collar program, to the point that we should look like the color that we're all wearing in here today. And I thought that was more than a good line. I think that is who Derek Mason is. I think it is what Middle Tennessee, the school, is. And if they can replicate that and combine that together, I think they've got a chance to have a lot of success in Conference USA.
No question. It's going to be fun to watch. If you're a Middle fan, it may not be as much fun for folks like me, who is a Jacksonville State fan, but perhaps it will be.
We hope to make it a nightmare for you.
I personally just want it to be a competitive conference at the group of 5 level. I don't want Liberty to have to get in because the AAC champion has 2 losses. I want this conference to be elevated to a level where we are considered the top G5 conference in the country, just like Chris Massaro said, and get that conference or that college football playoff bid. That's where I want to be. Derek Mason helps Middle Tennessee State elevate itself and therefore elevates Conference USA. And therefore I am excited because I believe it elevates everybody, rising tides and all. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Steve, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and looking forward to maybe getting in touch with you again down the road.
Yeah, you bet, guys. Anytime.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, College Football Coach of the Year Award finalists announced. Jerry Kill not on the list. A little shocking, perhaps, but who was on the list? We'll talk about those and a little bit more right after this. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Still to come, as you see there, is Joe Sullivan talking about the Battle of the Boulevard a little bit later. Also, Terry McCormick here in just a few minutes. But first, Mo, the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year Award finalists have been announced. And honestly, dude, like the list of coaches, I could make a case for every single one of them. I mean, David Braun at Northwestern. Are you kidding me? I mean,
Kind of speaks for itself.
Jamie Chadwell, 13-0 in his first year at Liberty. Kalen DeBoer takes Washington to the college football playoff. Eli Drinkwitz, who is the SEC Coach of the Year. Jed Fish at Arizona, who went from losing to Mississippi State to ranked 17th in the country. That's a heck of a turnaround. Rhett Lashley at SMU, who just won the AAC. Chuck Martin at Miami of Ohio, who took the Redhawks to a championship in the MAC. Mike Norvell, kind of speaks for itself. Barry Odom, UNLV. I mean, who expected him to be in the Mountain West Championship game?
Is Barry Odom finalist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The list that I'm looking at omitted him. Yeah.
Oh, Nick Saban. I mean, honestly, this year may be Nick Saban's greatest coaching performance in the history of his life. Going from what they had in the spring and what people thought of them coming out of South Florida to this, holy crap. Steve Sarkisian, Texas is back, and it's because Steve Sarkisian said so. And John Summerall at Troy, who had a heck of a year on his way to a Sun Belt championship. Every single person on this list, I could make a case for being the coach of the year. Like I said, though, the one name that is missing is Jerry Kill, who New Mexico State started 0-2, including a loss to UMass, before ripping off 10 straight, including a win at Auburn, to go 10-2 into the Conference USA Championship game where they fell to Liberty, who, again, undefeated. But I don't think people realize the New Mexico State job and how incredibly difficult it is. And this guy just won 10 ball games.
I think all you have to do is just say New Mexico State. I mean,
exactly.
Just look at where it is on the map and realize from a recruiting standpoint what you're faced with. I mean, besides Brian Urlacher, name me another guy who has come out of the New Mexico prep ranks and made a dent either collegiately or professionally on the gridiron. So, I mean, you've got a lot of challenges out there. And for him to come in and go 10-2 and win at Auburn, I mean, I guess you got to leave somebody off. I don't know.
Sure.
And one of the things I've always said when you talk about folks getting left off of lists and that kind of thing, who would you take off to put Jerry Kill on?
I don't know that you have to take anybody off.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works.
You can only have this many.
Maybe it's capped at 12. I don't know.
Perhaps it is. Perhaps the finalists are capped at 12. But I mean, yeah, sure. Again, I could make a list for every single a case for every single person on the list. So I mean, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that if you're looking at,
I don't think anyone would have been upset if Jerry Kill was on this list and one of these other people were not.
Prior to Jerry Kill, 2-10, 1-1, 2-10, 3-9. They went 7-6 and 17 and won the Arizona Bowl. 3-9, 3-9, 2-10, 2-10, 1-11, 4-9, 2-10, 3-10, 3-9, 4-9, 4-8, 0-12. I mean, the list goes on. You get the point. New Mexico State, you don't win 10 ball games at New Mexico State. Nobody does. And he did. And so I think, that's pretty dadgum impressive. And I just wanted to give him his props.
Mm-hmm.
If you were voting, who would you vote for?
Ooh.
Give me a top three.
Top three. I could go alphabetical. I could go with the top three on the list and not feel bad about it. I mean, again, David Braun coming in as interim guy after the nightmarish summer that Northwestern had, taking over for a legendary graduate of that program, and just holding that thing in the road was impressive. But they won some games. They beat some folks.
Going bowling.
Jamie Chadwell, like you said, in his first year at Liberty, he's undefeated. Of course, it didn't hurt that he inherited Caden Salter.
Yeah, Caden Salter he's an SEC level quarterback.
Yeah.
That helps in the Conference USA. There's no question.
I mean, ditto for Kayla DeBoer, who's got a Heisman Trophy finalist at quarterback, but still, you still have to coach those guys and you have to coach the rest of them as well. But I'd be hard pressed to come up with a final three, to be honest, because like you said, I think a case can be made for every one of them. It would not hurt my feelings to see Mike Norvell win it under the circumstances.
I think Norvell is in my top three, along with Braun and probably Barry Odom.
Yeah, Barry Odom.
I mean, because here's the thing: on top of everything else that Barry Odom had to deal with getting, with UNLV in and of itself, he lost his offensive coordinator in the summer.
Yeah.
And people forget that Bobby Petrino left right after being hired.
Oh, that never happens.
And
Bobby Petrino leaving
in the middle of something.
Mm-hmm.
And Petrino leaves, goes to Texas A&M, and kind of leaves Odom high and dry, and he finds himself with a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. Despite that, I think Odom would probably be on my list. That would be my three: Braun, Norvell, and Odom. With Nick Saban, and I know that sounds dumb, I think Nick Saban would be my close number 4, because I'm telling you, I think this is the best coaching performance he's ever had.
I think I would probably go Norvell. I was trying to save the best for last, but I can't. But I think I would go with Sarkeesian because we've been hearing for about 5-8 years Texas is back. They finally are.
Yeah, but they were the only reason I would not say them is because they were picked to win the Big 12. And
But they won it.
they did. They met expectations, and that has not been the case in a while.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with that.
Yeah. I would be inclined probably go Norvell, Sarkeesian, and probably Odom, because that program was dead in the water. And I don't think anybody really expected Barry Odom or anybody else to have the kind of success that he's had there this year. So, yeah, I would probably go Norvell, Odom, and Sarkeesian.
Pretty good list.
It really is, even if it doesn't have Jerry Kill on it.
Look, Terry, Eli Drinkwitz, absolutely, again, SEC Coach of the Year. Probably, the fact that he well exceeded expectations at Missouri this year, and kudos to him, man. And
he only beat Middle by 4,
and also had the best line of the week with after it was announced they would be playing Ohio State, and that he had Connor Stallions on the other line. Needed to get to him. So we'll take a break as we have Terry McCormick on the other line. And when we get back, we'll talk to him about the Titans. So stick around.
He shoots, and he scores!
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic. Welcome back in. Time now for your daily Titans update for Terry McCormick. Terry, what's up?
Hey guys, it is your Zen Sports Titans update, bringing you Titans news courtesy of Zen Sports. Yesterday, Monty Rice shown the door and had some interesting tweets to go with that. The second Titans player in about 3 weeks to do that.
I wish someone from the Titans. I wish someone from the Titans was just insane, bro.
Yep.
And so Mike Vrabel was asked about Monty Rice today, and his comment was, it just didn't work out.
Clearly.
So yet another high draft pick by the Titans from 2020 through 2022 that, quote, just didn't work out. The Titans do have a new punter, though.
Well, thank goodness.
Ty Zeltner, I believe his name is, to the practice squad. Now, since you can elevate practice squad guys twice before they have to be called up permanently or exposed to waivers after a third time call up, they can give this guy like a week or two tryout to make sure he's okay and can do the job, provided they can protect him, and not have to use a spot on the 53-man roster in order to do so. So that's probably a wise move there, personnel-wise, to give him the practice squad spot first. Then if it pans out and he's good for the rest of the year, you move him up to the 53.
Sounds good. Injury report, is it out yet? I haven't seen it.
Has not come out, but Vrabel told us the guys that weren't going to practice today in advance. Jeffrey Simmons, who we know is going to be out. Stonehouse, who has not yet been put on IR, but obviously his season is done. And it sounds like Christian Fulton's going to miss some time after he re-injured his hamstring. That's not good news as you go in to face the Miami Dolphins, who have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and various other guys who run really fast and catch the football in open space. So certainly not good news there. Josh Wiley also did not practice today. Neither did Joe Jones, inside linebacker.
All right. Well, there you go. It's good information to have.
Absolutely.
Terry, tell us about Zen Sports.
All right, let's talk about Zen Sports. You've been hearing me talk about Zen Sports, the new sports betting app exclusively in Tennessee the last few months, and I'm excited to share with you some big news. Now, when you sign up for a Zen Sports account, you will receive up to a $1,000 no-danger first wager. That's right. When you place your first bet in Zen Sports with up to plus 500 odds, you can be reimbursed for the amount of your bet up to a $1,000 maximum within 24 hours if the bet loses. And there's even more good news. Zen Sports is rolling out its brand new VIP rewards program. This new VIP rewards program will allow top-tier customers to earn more bonuses, comps, and perks. The VIP program is by invite only, so if you feel your Zen Sports play qualifies you for VIP consideration, then check out the program details and apply at zensports.com/VIP. No other sportsbook will offer you a premier sports betting experience with 24/7 top-tier customer support and faster withdrawals than Zen Sports. So what are you waiting for? Get going and download their app at zensports.com today. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-855-844-0445.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Joe Patton and our friends from all across the landscape, from ice coaches and reporters to national college and pro sport personalities. You never know who might stop or chat. She's on Thinking Out Loud about Origins, and out of Alyssa Lang, it is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I want to lower the bar for gas now. Like, apologies in advance.
You got that radio. And here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on. Everybody wants to be on the street.
And we Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, that's it. So you're on Main Street and you are moving.
You gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
And welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here, and our number 2 on this Wild and Wacky Wednesday. The weirdest and wildest news from across the world coming your way here in just a few moments. It's going to be a heck of a day. Just trust me. Stick around. It'll be worth it. And there's no reason not to stick around, because we have a fantastic guest coming up talking a little local hoops from the Nashville hoops.blog. That is Joe Sullivan. As tonight, the 150th meeting in the Battle of the Boulevard, Lipscomb and Belmont, and no question, Joe Sullivan will be in attendance, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I'll be there. But I'm distracted by what you just said. As a guest, can you share with me off the air what's going to be? What's going to be happening later?
Wild and Wacky Wednesday. I scour the internet for the weirdest and wildest headlines that we can find, and then I read the story and Mo laughs. It's usually it's great.
I thought second you said I read the story and Mo knows the person that I'm right.
No, sometimes you never know. Mo knows everybody.
I know.
Yeah. Joe, Battle of the Boulevard, Part 150, as Chris said, because he didn't know how to say it in French. But what are your expectations out of this one? Because
I have
what are your expectations out of this one?
Yeah. So one thing I want to say first, thank goodness they're still playing, because we see in the days of realignment, old rivalries go by the wayside, that somehow it's more important, and this wouldn't include these two schools, but at least on the other level, it's more important to play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl and maintain a natural rivalry. But so that's good to see. I mean, they don't play twice anymore, but I don't think that's the end of the world. So I'm looking forward to it. I love rivalry games. And the other thing that I think is going to happen today is we're going to see some high scoring. I think I've probably said this on the program before, that I don't think college basketball teams play fast enough. I think everyone's really kind of slow half-court basketball. I'd like to see more fast breaking. And here we have two teams who like to play fast. They both average over 80 points a game. So I was even talking to Lenny Acuff earlier this week, and I said first 1 to 100 wins, and he's not against it.
You may have to up the number a little bit, though. It might be closer to 110.
Well, that would be great. I hope that happens. And it's look, it'll be great. It's at Belmont. The Belmont student section is a pretty good student section, so they'll be involved. I think their favorite chant on this particular night is "What's your curfew?" to the Lipscomb students who they mistakenly think have a curfew.
So good.
I have covered a Battle of the Boulevard at the Curb Event Center, and that student section can make things pretty uncomfortable for the media because it's awfully close. They're like, they've got their knees in your back just about. I mean,
yes, they really do.
It's tight. That place gets tight quick. But who are some names that you think we should be familiar with tonight in particular in this matchup?
Well, Cade Tyson, the leading scorer for Belmont, is the best player in the game. I think he's averaging close to 20 points. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact figure, but he is someone who is quickly establishing himself as a Belmont player that's going to be remembered for a long time. He's been terrific. He had a great freshman year. He was freshman on the all-freshman team for the Missouri Valley Conference. And Casey Alexander said to me, he's better. He's a better player now. He's really improved, and that he has shown that he really is their most reliable player. But he's a constant. Who's not a constant, but might be the most interesting player on Belmont, is Malik Dia, the transfer from Vanderbilt, who just is fascinating. He's one of those players you really can't take your eyes off him when he's playing, because something's going to happen. Whether it's good or bad is the question. So Saturday against Valparaiso, he had two incredible dunks. He got behind the defense, but he can really get up in there, like two tomahawk dunks. It really got the crowd going. It was really exciting. And I think he ended up scoring 18 points or so, had a bunch of rebounds. But he also had 4 missed three-pointers, none of which looked like they were going to come close. And he had 6 turnovers. So this is like the Malik Dia adventure that is pretty much endlessly entertaining to me. So I'm always looking forward to see him play. And I can't I shouldn't leave out Lipscomb, who is more of a team oriented. I mentioned those two guys from Belmont sticking out. Who could be the leading scorer for Lipscomb can vary. But Darian Boyd, who won this game last year with a basket in the final minute for Lipscomb, is an interesting player. It's sort of an undersized forward is what he is, but he's a talented scorer. So he keep an eye on him.
Joe, you talk about Malik Dia, who I'm terribly fascinated with.
You're with me on this.
Yeah, well, I'm fascinated by seeing him in the East-West All-Star game after his senior year over at Ensworth. But your comments about him reminded me of former Middle Tennessee coach, the late Bruce Stewart. When I was in school at MTSU, we had a guard named James Johnson, and this was back in the mid-'80s. And Bruce referred to him as Tragic Johnson because you knew he was going to kill somebody. You just didn't know who. So I was kind of reminded of that as you talked about Malik and his potential for making things happen.
Yeah, I got an email today from a Belmont season ticket holder saying he was reading the website, which I was grateful for. And
so you're the guy.
Yeah. So but what he said is if it wasn't for the website, there's a lot of questions would go unanswered because Belmont's not covered. But more importantly, what interested him was, like, he says he and other fans wonder why Dia's not playing more. And again, there's the most interesting player on the team, Malik Dia. That's who he wanted to ask me about. And, I think we have answered that question on the site. That, Casey says that there are certain things he wants them to do, whether it's taking good shots or recognizing what opponents are doing, being in the right defense, helping out when teams when he's on the weak side, that type of thing. So he wants these fundamental small things from Malik, and when he doesn't do them, that's when the minutes get reduced.
And as Malik continues to respond to that kind of thing, the minutes are going to go up, and he's going to be more productive when he is on the floor.
Yeah, and a positive side for Malik, in an interview we had with him, he said, "I'm ready to be coached. I know Coach Alexander wants the best for me. I'm ready to be coached hard." So he's on board.
Besides these two teams, Joe, who else have you been impressed by here in the early going?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think impressed would be the wrong verb. It's more like I'm wondering about all the other ones.
Okay.
I think, I really had high hopes from Tennessee State this year, and they just the idea that they lost to Alabama A&M, it just I didn't see the game, so I can't speak to it. But it's like
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And then they were playing Austin Peay the other Saturday, I guess. And they were trailing the whole game, and they came back and won. So they have talent, and they're not going to like quit. I'll give them that. They came back and won that game, but Penny still has work to do in terms of getting this team playing its best. Vanderbilt, I really think they're going to be in trouble when they get to the SEC. They're just not good enough. I don't think the roster is good enough, and it's I don't know what's going to happen. If they have another really dismal season like they've had recently. I mean, I know last year they made the NIT, last 2 years. I'm not sure they're even that they can do that this year. It had to take a real turnaround from what I see. And Middle Tennessee is also, I don't think, good enough, given that they have this tough non-conference schedule, sort of deceivingly tough non-conference schedule. But they hang tough. They've had 3 overtime games already. And they won one. They won one Saturday, but they lost to Wofford at home in overtime. So they're missing their best player who's injured, Cameron Weston, and they really need someone to play offense. And I'm not sure that player is on the team.
Yeah, I did get a win over Missouri State last night.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
it's a pretty solid win. Which I mean, they needed it. They needed the W. Badly.
And you know who's come around is Jalen Jordan is a reserve guard, and he's been in double figures the last couple of games, and he hasn't played the last 2 years because of knee injuries. He's quite he's an engaging young man too. I like him, and I'd really be happy for him if he starts contributing in a big way. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's been tough for Middle because you get Jalen Jordan back and you lose your point guard Cam Weston with a knee injury. And we have Chip Walters, the voice of Blue Raiders. We have him on every Tuesday, and he said that they're really having to learn how to play without him. And I don't know if that's the answer to what's been going on with Middle or what the situation is, but
That's
you know,
fair. That's fair by Chip, because
Mhm.
Weston had the ball a lot, and they were planning to have him have the ball a lot. And
Sure.
it was a big loss.
And in addition to tonight, this week in general, Saturday, Belmont at Middle Tennessee State, and then I think TSU is at Lipscomb. Yeah,
On
TSU
Sunday
is
afternoon at
Lipscomb
4.
on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, I'll be at
So, I
both
mean,
of those two. Yeah.
This is a really, really great weekend of college basketball, or week in general of college basketball. Of course, Middle's got Tennessee women tonight down in Huntsville. So, I mean, if football season at the high school level and, for all intents and purposes for now, the collegiate level is done.
Mhm.
It's time to get into the gyms. It's time to get into these arenas, especially around Middle Tennessee. And you could do a lot worse than going to see some of these games. I'm really excited to see, what happens one tonight, but also, of course, Saturday. Belmont and Middle, every time they get together is a lot of fun, and this is not going to be any different. But, you said it, Middle Tennessee State, man, you look at this non-conference schedule. After that, they go west, young man, to St. Mary's.
Yeah,
and Southern Utah.
So St. Mary's, both St. Mary's and Southern Utah aren't doing that well, but I still think playing at St. Mary's is really you got to mark it down as a loss.
Yeah, it's
I really do. I have to be
even
stunned.
when Gonzaga comes to town.
Yeah, right, exactly. And also tonight Vanderbilt hosts San Francisco, which is just an interesting game.
It is an interesting game. It really is. I mean,
huh?
How? Yeah, how?
How
does that happen? Yeah. So
Well, San Francisco and Vanderbilt. I think
Yeah.
San Francisco always schedules aggressively. They're looking to play games like this, so I assume it comes from that end. And I guess the way this works, if Vanderbilt's paying them money,
That's probably.
yeah.
I hope this one's a better investment than Presbyterian was.
Oh boy, yeah, that's like almost unforgivable territory, right? It'll like, they can upset Kentucky again and goes, yeah, but Presbyterian,
Exactly.
Well, and that seems to be the big issue now. Obviously, I agree with you that Vanderbilt had some pieces last year that you thought, okay, they've got some guys who can make plays when plays are needed to be made, and this team just doesn't seem like it has those guys.
Yeah, I mean the point guard Ezra Mannion. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I'm bad at it. I've been corrected in the press box often. But he's a really good player. He just isn't a great shooter, but he can make things happen. And they really, they missed him for a couple of games out in Vegas, and it was noticeable. But he and Turin Lawrence are the guys who are going to have to carry this team. And not sure I've seen that they're really, when you get SEC play, when they're going to match up, who they're going to match up against, I'm not sure they can do that.
It's going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting winter on the hardwood across Nashville. And Joe Sullivan's going to help you keep up with all of it at NashvilleHoops.blog. He and Joey Dwyer. And who else have you got at your disposal over there?
Right now,
Joe?
it's just me and Joey, but we're always looking for a young talent that want to jump on board. There's a talented young writer down at Middle, Calvin White, who I tried to talk Calvin into working for us, but he's too busy. He's like working like crazy for the Middle Tennessee school paper and
sidelines.
Sidelines, yeah. And so he has to go to school too.
I hate when that happens. I hate when those classes get in the way of stuff. Yeah, but Calvin does a great job. He was actually giving me grief earlier this morning because we've not had him on the show yet. So we're going to have to try to rectify that here at some point during the basketball season. But
good idea.
Joe, we appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a good time.
All right.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, winter meetings continue in Nashville. Shohei Ohtani is touring the Dodgers facilities over the weekend. We weren't supposed to know that, but we do.
And I wonder what it means.
Is that going to matter? We'll talk about that Braves sending players out for next to nothing. And Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell had a conversation with the Chicago White Sox owner. We'll talk about that as well. And maybe some college football. Who knows? Right after this, stick around. Main Street Sports Today is returning in just a moment.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
You got that radio voice.
I know.
It's a good sound.
Thanks for radio, too.
As do we. And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
and we reach every main street in Middle Tennessee, Coach?
Yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you are on Main Street and you are moving,
you gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
I'm glad someone.
Hey, welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton here on this wild and wacky Wednesday. Mo, we've got a couple of, or several actually, topics in the baseball world to talk about here as the winter meetings continue at Opryland Hotel-ish.
Gaylord Springs, Opryland, something like that. Yeah, there's a Gaylord in there, and it's Opryland.
I'm sure it's Gaylord. Yeah, there's no question. But they are in Nashville area, so heck of a place to be this time of year. I hope they're not leaving to go
We're
anywhere.
not trying to leave to go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the best time of year to be at the Opryland Hotel.
But it's out there like roughly every 5 years or so.
Yeah.
I mean, they like it. It's a lot. You know,
Well,
it's really spacious.
It's spacious, and I mean, I guess if you wanted to go to the mall, you could, and just, you know, if you need to get some Christmas shopping done while you're out, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing. So
I think the biggest thing is they can have everybody under one roof.
under a roof, that does
It's
help.
one super large roof. but
It
it's
is a
one roof.
massive place. My goodness, it's massive.
I mean, every time I've been out there, I've threatened to take breadcrumbs. I could find my way
Find your way back
to wherever I was going.
There's no doubt.
I don't know if GPS helps in the hotel or not, but
Yeah, we did a show there once, right? I
once.
feel like we did a show there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
Once. I don't think it's something I would suggest a
No.
second time.
No, it was not easy. So anyway, they're having a good time out there. And first topic of discussion, Shohei Ohtani. His camp made it pretty evident early on in the process that they did not want any leaks about potential conversations happening, and you know, they wanted this. They wanted to kind of be able to do this quietly without a lot of media attention. Obviously, he's the biggest free agent of the offseason, so there's going to be some media attention. Everybody's talking about where he might end up. We got folks saying, they've got sources saying that there's a secret team that's now involved, or somebody who maybe wasn't involved early. Who knows? But we do know, thanks to Dave Roberts and some reporters, that he toured the Dodgers facilities on Friday. And I'm curious if that's going to be a problem for the Shohei Ohtani camp.
Or for the Dodgers.
Well, someone made mention that Dave Roberts doesn't want Shohei Ohtani.
So that's why he got out.
Because,
self-sabotage.
and so, he's like, it's going to, they're saying that he thinks it's going to hurt the team long term, and that, that it's a circus, etc. But that seems crazy.
It does
to me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm naive.
And I don't know what manager, what player personnel person wouldn't want Shohei Ohtani.
And yet it appears the Dodgers are doing everything they can to
make sure
to
they
get
don't
rid of
get
him.
him.
Because here's the thing. Everyone that, there are some folks out there, they say, well, they're going to give him $400 or $500 million, $600 million, so it's not going to matter anyway. Here's my question. After like $30 million a year, what's the real difference?
Hello.
Go somewhere where the culture fits, they're winners or whatever, or go somewhere that you just like being. Because after 30 million, what is the difference?
It's all more money than I can count, let alone spend.
So yeah, let's be honest here. Shohei Ohtani is going to go wherever Shohei Ohtani goes. And, as a Braves fan, would I love to see him in an Atlanta uniform? I think it would be interesting. I think it would be kind of cool. I would just, again, as we said last year, would love to see how Brian Snicker figures that out.
Well, I mean, at least this year, it's pretty straightforward. He's a DH.
Yeah, no question. And we have a left fielder now. So
got two, sounds like.
And so
yeah,
I don't think there's any question that it's going to be an interesting finale for the Shohei Ohtani camp, but I just don't know that it's going to involve the Atlanta Braves. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Alex Anthopoulos made a comment that was almost too specific in that he said that Jared Kelenic was the only position player they have pursued at all this offseason. It's almost like he was
Splitting hairs
being
some kind of way.
Yes, that feels very specific.
Only position player.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe the Braves are involved. I have no idea. There is a unique component with the Braves and Liberty Media and some of their partners overseas who would probably love to see Shohei Ohtani in a Braves uniform. So I don't know if there's something there, if they're saying, hey, we're willing to spend whatever money it takes to get him because it's going to help us on other ventures.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Perhaps that's a part of it. I that's why it's so enthralling to me. I don't know.
It's going to bear watching right up until he signs with
Whomever.
somebody.
Toronto.
Well, I mean, supposedly he wants to go somewhere where he had the chance to win. And after having been with the Angels all this time, I can see that. And Toronto, as currently constructed, would seem to be able to provide that opportunity. So,
Goodness, I mean, Vladdy, Bichette,
Biggio, the Killer
Biggio.
Yeah, I mean, they got some stuff going on up there. So
they do, in fact. The Braves did, however, ship out Marco Gonzalez, who they just got from Seattle.
After shipping out Jackson Kowar,
Yeah.
who they just got for Marco Gonzalez. So it's Friday when we were in Chattanooga and the kids from Houston County were coming through and they were trading up. What the Braves are doing.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to trade up and sent him out and got back a player to be named later and cash, and they sent cash considerations. So
They sent Marco Gonzalez
and
cash for a player to be named later.
Who, by the way, is finding his way around the league these days.
A player to be named later?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope his family is okay.
Who did Gonzalez go to?
Pittsburgh.
And cash?
And cash.
Is the player to be named later Brian Reynolds?
I hope so.
We
don't even need a left.
Ke'Bryan Hayes?
And yet.
That's wild.
Maybe he does well and we trade for him.
That's wild.
It has happened.
Who gets to name the player, them or us?
That's a great question. Oh man, but yeah, so the Braves are wheeling and dealing, which makes me think that obviously they either feel really good about the Lopez dude being a number 4 starter or number 5 starter, or they're still working to get another impact starter.
Alex is playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers.
Meanwhile, they're also negotiating with Max Fried's people.
Don't. I wish.
So
I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Max sign an extension. That'd be fantastic. But anyway, Jerry Reinsdorf in town, obviously for the meetings. Well, Brady O'Connell's in town because he's the mayor. So they had a conversation.
They just kind of crossed paths somewhere at the Opryland, huh?
And yeah, a fortuitous meeting, I'm sure.
Fancy meeting you here.
Who knew? Didn't know you were in town.
Hey, but as long as you're here, let's talk.
That being said, and this is from Nate Rao, essentially the line is that Mayor O'Connell did not share anything with Reinsdorf that he hasn't previously said publicly, which is basically, we're not paying for a stadium. And
we will help you locate property if you want to buy it, but we're not paying for a stadium. Good for him.
And yeah, because one, we don't need one. We don't need a baseball team. We got a baseball team. And And this just feels like a negotiation tactic. But here's the thing. Chicago might call us bluff
How so?
and say, okay, you want to move? Fine.
Oh, Chicago may call Reinsdorf's bluff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What do you want us to do about it? I mean, could you imagine? Can you imagine White Sox fans being forced to root for either a relocated team or the Cubs?
I think White Sox fans would either root for the relocated team or they would root for
whoever's playing the Cubs.
Royals. I mean, they're south of
Yeah,
Chicago.
it's about the closest team.
Yeah, I mean,
it's what you got.
I can't imagine they would root for the Cubs.
You're going to gain a lot of Braves fans in Chicago.
America's.
I can't imagine that. One, I know that it's not going to happen because buying the land where they want to put a baseball stadium anyway, at this point, I have resigned it to it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That scrapyard or whatever it is ain't going anywhere. It's just going to be there until I mean, I don't know if the owner has a family who wants to continue the business or if it's, I don't know. Like it seems like it's not going anywhere. So I don't foresee a baseball stadium in downtown Nashville unless they try to build one at, First Horizon somehow. But at this point, they've built too much around it and I don't see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So. We have, let's see, I don't want to get into this next conversation because I think it's too long of a conversation to have.
For the time we have.
And so, I kind of want, but also I don't have 15 minutes of wild and wacky news.
What?
So I just don't have 15 minutes of it. So that is what it is.
So we're kind of caught betwixt and between, huh?
So.
Well, do we need to talk about some high school football?
Yeah, we can mention it. I think this is as good of a time as any to talk about what's coming up this weekend.
So the East-West All-Star game, the Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association's East versus West All-Star Classic, 16th annual, will be played at Austin Peay's Forterra Stadium, aka the Fort. Kickoff is 7:00 Friday night, and it can be seen on YouTube on the Worthy Road Studios YouTube channel. And I guess if you go to youtube.com and search for Worthy Road Studios, you can find it. But again, this kind of caps off the high school schedule statewide, and there are a number of standout seniors playing in this ball game. I think 88 total, 44 for each team. Among them, looking at the West roster, you've got Stratford's, and I'm not going to try to name all of these folks. We've got something on the Main Street Preps website from about a week and a half ago mentioning the game and who all's in it. But Pearl Cone's Zion Simpson Smith is in it. Centennial's Dominic Reed is in it. Brentwood's Baylor Hayes is in it. Franklin Road Academy's Ty Clark is playing. Those are all on the west side, along with, and geographics get a little squirrely, I guess, because you've also got Tullahoma's Grant Chadwick playing for the West.
Yeah, you can take some of those and put them over here just because we're going to have to fill it out.
Well, I mean, we got two kickers, so yeah. And the other one's from Knoxville Halls, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Trying to find some other notable names on here. All these kids are notable, obviously. Vanderbilt commit Glenn Seabrooks from Davidson Academy is playing for the West. Let's go back and look at the East for just a second. The East team is coached by Thomas Osteen of Marshall County.
That's about just as barely east as you can get, too.
That's East doing a lot of work there.
About 6 miles from from 65 split.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're using to.
We got
denote East and
Tullahoma's
West.
kickers playing West. Thomas Osteen's coaching East. It's
Marshall County's Wyatt Joyce is the kicker for the East. So
wow, wow.
Well, it
That's
could be
amazing.
worse. At least Osteen's not coaching against his kid.
Yes, that's possible.
Jordan Davis of Columbia Central is listed as a wideout for the East. Ball State commit. Let's see. Ben Franklin is listed as a defensive end for the East. Moore County's Dawson White is a safety for the East. Giles County's Kamari Turner is listed as a wide receiver for the East. Marshall County receiver Jaden Randolph, the son of Marshall County assistant Gerard Randolph, is also on the team, as is Tigers quarterback Silas Teat. Oakland's Deuce Hewitt, the Liberty commit. Vanderbilt commit Thomas Jones from Smyrna is on the East squad. Obviously, a lot of talent. I mean, it's an all-star game. But just wanted to mention that is going on Friday night. Again, 7 o'clock kickoff up at Austin Peay. So if you've not gotten your fill of high school football yet, go check that out. And Chris, you were talking off air about
one other thing,
high school football all-star game coming up.
Were we off the top? I can't remember. On Top
Athletics.
On Top Athletics is hosting this is the third annual event, but the first time that it will include athletes from Montgomery County taking on athletes from Wilson County. It will be held at Cumberland University on Saturday, December 16th. Again, Montgomery County All-Stars, Wilson County All-Stars taking on each other. That is going to be a lot of fun. I wish more people would do something like this because, gosh, this just seems like it would be a blast to see, Williamson and Rutherford get together or something like that.
They are going to play at Noakes Lassiter Field, which I think is where Cumberland plays its home games on December 16th, according to Andy Reid of the Lebanon Democrat. Josh Crouch of Green Hill and Gavin Webster of Watertown will coach the Wilson County bunch.
Mm-hmm. Chad Watson and Rob Gallowitz from Montgomery.
Chad Watson is the Kirkwood coach, and Rob
Gallowitz?
Who's
no
he?
idea.
Okay.
It must be Northeast or Northwest because that's two teams we don't pay a whole lot of attention to down this way. So
yeah,
the rosters are on Top Athletics.
Okay.
Names are names
Mm-hmm.
So just check that out. It's going to be interesting. Games at 2 o'clock, $15 to get in. All right, let's take our final break of the day. When we come back, Wild and Wacky Wednesday, weirdest and wildest news from across the world right after this. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, it is time now for the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. And Mo, a Florida man can only be upended by something incredibly wild and wacky.
Yeah.
This one,
got it.
this one might be it. These two actually, but this one particularly, a Canadian cop is on the mend after an incident on Monday when a kangaroo punched it in the face. First of all, I didn't know there were kangaroos in Canada.
I didn't either.
But there are. It was from the zoo. Did
it escape?
An escaped kangaroo from the Oshawa Zoo, 45 miles northeast of Toronto, was being transported to a zoo in Quebec. So they were at a rest stop, and the 4-year-old kangaroo got out, went AWOL over the weekend, stunning motorists who spotted her hopping alongside the vehicles on highways and roads. Could you imagine driving down the road? Was that a kangaroo?
Driving down the road in Canada.
I know that wasn't no kangaroo. I know that wasn't a kangaroo. I got to pull over and get some sleep because I know
clearly
I know
I'm
good
tired.
and well that wasn't no kangaroo.
Ain't no kangaroos in Canada.
This ain't the zoo. This is the highway.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh man! But the officers who got them, who rescued the animal, were on routine patrol, and
Wasn't nothing routine about this.
Well, kangaroo routine. Yeah, Roo, R-O-O. They managed to sneak up behind her and grab her tail. Listen, imagine.
Why
getting
would
that-
you?
First of all, no. Just one cop done got punched in the face. Okay. The second,
I got a
this
kangaroo
is
by the
funny.
tail.
It's plain to see.
I won't be much when she gets done with me.
No,
Yeah.
no, you will not, because no, she stopped to take a little break at 3 a.m. Officers grabbed it by the tail. That's how they were advised to do it by the animal's handlers.
The animals handlers wanted to see what's. They were Captain Chaos, huh? Yeah, just grab it by the tail. You'll be fine.
See what happens.
You'll be fine.
Oh man. God, a kangaroo just hopping down the road. Could you imagine?
No, I can't.
I would love to see it. All right. This one is, we got to go out on this one, and I apologize in advance. An Ohio attorney has been suspended. Jack Blakesley claimed he enjoyed imagining the look of surprise on people's faces when they discovered his creations. He's a criminal defense attorney. He plans to change the subject the next time someone asks how long. Next time someone asks him how work is going. He was suspended for unprofessional behavior, which, again, can be anything. A 1-year suspension, 6 months stayed for a gross act, and said his conduct was adversely reflects on his fitness to practice law. There was clear and convincing evidence from the court that Blakesley targeted the Haven of Hope Center, which employed people whom he admitted he'd known for years and whom he was probably going to see in court just minutes after tossing a Pringles can full of his poop into the parking lot. Yeah, you heard me. Wasn't wrong. Pringles can. Pringles can.
So many questions.
So little time.
None of which I'm going to ask. Because, I don't know that I actually want them answered.
It's one.
No.
How? How is the question? How is the question that I don't want to know the answer to?
Exactly.
We're just going to leave it at how and go, you know what? It's just some things you're just never going to know. It's like, where did DB Cooper go? Where do socks in the dryer go? How do you poop into a Pringles can? Mysteries of the world. Just mysteries of the world. I got nothing, don't care, don't need to know. But buddy, enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, well deserved, I might add.
So yeah, there you go. That is your weird and wild news from across the world on Wild and Wacky Wednesday here. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. When we come tomorrow, we will have Brady McAtamney and Coach's Corner for you.
And we're efforting for a entertaining, timely Coach's Corner.
Yes, we are. We'll see you tomorrow.